Hey guys, it's Dr. Kre. I wanted to come on and share a little bit with you about something a little bit different. We have been doing a lot of lives on coronavirus, but I wanted to talk to you about something else. So come on in the room, tag your friends, and let's talk about the Black Panther could have colon cancer, so can you. Let's talk about prevention. Anyway, I'm going to get started. I'm Dr. Kre. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician. I specialize in helping everyday, overwhelmed, overworked, just regular people learn more about their health care. I feel like when you know better, you can do better. So today, I am empowering you to know better and to learn better. Hey, Montez. When y'all come in, let me know where you're watching from. I want to say hi and give you some love. So share the broadcast. We're going to talk about colon cancer today. Hey, baby. Hey, Shavia. Hey, guys. So let me just jump right on in. So, as you guys know, Friday, Chadwick Boseman or Black Panther to us all died from colon cancer, stage 3. That transitioned to stage 4. And he was only 43 years old when he died. So I feel like we need to talk about this. So first things first. A lot of people have been talking about, well, you're not supposed to get screening until later on. Why is this happening? And I want to give you guys some insight on that today. So first things first, if you are African American, you need to be getting your first colon screening when you are 45 years old, okay? 45. That is a little bit different than what we used to, because we were told that you're supposed to get your screening at 50 years old. So here's where the discretion, the kind of discrepancy comes in. Some of the recommendations say 45 years old. However, insurance has not caught up to that recommendation. So if you don't have any symptoms, a lot of times they may not, your insurance may not pay for you to get a screening at 45 years old. So you have to be your own advocate, right? Hey, Miranda and Alea. So first things first, number one, make sure that if you are at least 45 years old, you talk to your primary care doctor, or if you have a gastro doctor or GI doctor, you go and talk to them about getting your colonoscopy, first colonoscopy. Second, if colon cancer runs in your family, you need to have your colon screening 10 years prior to your family member's age. Hey, Jessica, your family member's age that was diagnosed with cancer. So if your mom had breast cancer at 50 years old, then she would need to be you would need to have your colonoscopy at 40. So you need to know your family history. Oftentimes in our communities, we don't necessarily know our family history. We just know grandmama died from cancer. So if you have living parents, living grandparents, living aunts and uncles, do your due diligence and find out what runs in your family, and don't just take that they had cancer and we didn't talk about it. So find out what runs in your family. So one, the screening age has dropped for African Americans, 45 years old. You may have to talk to your doctor if you're having some symptoms of like changing of your stools. I'm more constipated than I wasn't like that before. I'm having more diarrhea. My stomach hurts. That may get you to get that screening paid for by insurance, so that you can get it done at 45 years old. So you may think about if you're having any stomach issues. Number one, 45 years old is the age for African Americans to start getting screened. Number two, you need to be screened 10 years prior to your relative diagnosis of colon cancer. So that's going to be your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, maybe your grandparents, depending on that. But a lot of times insurance wants it to be a first degree relative. So whichever comes first. If that is 40 years old, that is 10 years before their diagnosis, then get it at 40. If 45 comes, before their 10 your 10 years time, then get it at 45. Let's talk about some symptoms. Symptoms can be blood in your stool. Symptoms can be bloating. Symptoms can be pain in your stomach. And guys, let's face it, symptoms can be nothing at all. So make sure that you're seeing your doctor on a regular basis to get that screening. Please get screened. Get screened, get screened, get screened. So if you're seeing any bright red blood in your stool, don't just blame it on hemorrhoids, because it may be something other than hemorrhoids, okay? So make sure that you you get your screening and see your primary care doctor and be your own advocate. So number one, 45 years old is when you should start getting screened if you're African American. If you're not African American, you should be getting your screening at 50 years old. And then you can do screening in several different ways. So we'll talk about that. Next, you need to get your screening 10 years prior to your family member's diagnosis. So if your mama was diagnosed at 45, you need to get your first colonoscopy at 35. Okay? So know your symptoms. That's blood in your stool. That's bloating. That's changing in your stool. Your stools have changed. You're like, my stomach just hurts for no reason. I have no signs that my stomach should be hurting like this. And if you have drastic weight loss, chronic nausea that you're like, I'm just so nauseated, I don't know why, that kind of thing. So those are all symptoms to look out for. And remember that you can have cancer and not have symptoms at all. Be mindful. So guess why we do screenings? So let's talk about the various screenings. So you can get a test that I'm sure you guys have seen the commercial, the Cologuard commercial. It's where your provider orders you the test, and then it comes to your house. They give you instructions on how to poop on the stick and send the kit back. And it looks for like DNA of cancer. Hey, Chris. It looks at the DNA to say, oh, this person is likely to have some cancer going on. And then from there, if that test is positive, then you have to get a colonoscopy. So those tests are pretty accurate because if you get a Cologuard, you only have to repeat that every 3 years. So we got Cologuard. We have colonoscopy is still what we call the gold standard. Colonoscopy is when the night before you drink all of that stuff, you get cleaned out as best you can. And then they take the light, put you to sleep, make you a little sleepy, and then look up in your colon to make sure they don't find what's called any polyps. So polyps are little outgrowths or little growths that occur in your polyps. They kind of look like in your colon. They look like little skin tags. So that's a good description of them. So they grow, and then your GI doctor or the stomach doctor goes and then it pulls that little polyp off of your colon and send it off to be tested. So it gets tested and it says this is benign, no cancer seen. This is a precancerous polyps, meaning it was going to turn into cancer, or this is flat out cancer. So colonoscopy is the gold standard. A lot of people don't want to get their colonoscopy done because you have to drink all that stuff. You have to be put to sleep, kind of sleepy. You have to have a driver. Let me talk to the men in the room. It is nothing wrong with getting your colonoscopy. I know you don't want to get your prostate checked. I know you don't want to get your colon checked, but these things can keep you around for your family and your friends longer. Get checked. Women, for your men, your brothers, your uncles, your dads, your husbands, your friends, whoever, make them get their colonoscopy. There is nothing to be concerned about or like, oh, that's not manly. No, being alive is very manly. Okay? So, number one, we talked about Cologuard. You can get that every 3 years. Then next, you can do a colonoscopy, which the time span between your colonoscopies vary. It can be 5 years if it runs in your family. It could be 3 years if you had precancerous lesions. And it could be 10 years if it's normal. And we usually do that screening up until you're about 70, 72 years old. So you need to have that starting between 45 or 50, depending on your ethnicity, up until you're in your 70s. So you be your own advocate. Now, you also can get where you do the stool card. Sometimes your doctors will send out a stool sample or card so you can just put it on there and send it back. And we call those like the FOBT, fecal occult blood test. And if we do that little test and we have a reagent or this solution that we put on there, we look and say, oh, yeah, that's got blood in it. So usually if that is positive, then we send you on to the GI doctor for your colonoscopy. Okay, so just be mindful. There are several different tests you can do. First step would be, okay, I just want to check it out in the office. Ask your doctor about a fecal occult blood test. Next, you can say, well, I got good insurance. I want to know about, can I just do the Cologuard? You do the Cologuard if you have no family history of colon cancer. They will allow you to get the Cologuard, and it's every 3 years. And then lastly, make sure that you know that you may have to still get a colonoscopy, because that is the gold standard. That will help you to diagnose your colonoscopy. No matter if they think you got colon cancer, they're going to send you. You're ultimately going to have to end up getting a colonoscopy. Anyway, like I said, if Black Panther could get it, guys, anybody can. And a lot of you guys know that one of my very best friends in the whole wide world, Dr. LaTanya Hendricks Carter, she was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer about 3 years ago. She was an ER doctor in Atlanta. And she took very good care of herself. She worked out, she exercised. She had a genetically mutated colon cancer. So meaning her parents had their colonoscopies, and their colonoscopies it wasn't that they had cancer. They didn't have any cancer in their colonoscopies. She had it was a mutation. And she got diagnosed one May or June, and she was dead the next January. She died on Zoe's birthday. So colon cancer is something that is near and dear to my heart, and I always make it my my panel to talk to people about, because it is hitting younger people harder and harder and at a higher rate, especially African Americans. We've seen that since the mid-90s, the numbers have been rising for younger people who have been diagnosed with colon cancer, and that rate is going to be about 2% higher each year. So what's my goal here? So my goal is to let you guys know, but my prayer is that they drop the screening down and that insurance follows. Insurance covers it, because people won't go get it if they have to pay for it. Sadly enough, Yvonne says she got her colonoscopy today. I hope you get a good report. I hope your report was amazing. So remember, 45 years old, get your screening done for African Americans, 50 years old for everyone else. Know the symptoms: blood in your stool, changing in your stools. Like now, all of a sudden, I'm always constipated, or my stools used to be big, now they're pencil thin. So all of those are things to be concerned about. I'm bloating more than normal. See your GI doctor, see your primary care doctor. Know that you can get the fecal occult blood test. You can get the Cologuard, and the gold standard, or the diagnosing test, is a colonoscopy. So my prayer for you guys is that we take the lesson from Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, and know that, hey, if he can get it, and he was in all his superhero-ness to all of us, then we can too. So be your own best advocate. Be your family's advocate. Again, I'm Dr. Kre. I'm your board-certified family medicine physician. I specialize in helping everyday, overworked, overwhelmed people learn more and more and more about their health care. I feel like when you know better, you can do better. So I expect you guys to be calling your primary care doctors and your GI doctors so that you guys can be screened for colon cancer. Get on it now, guys. It's better late than never. It's better to get it done and have a negative than not. Sorry, I've been MIA. I needed a break. I needed a mental health break. So I am back, and I'm back working. I work on Tuesdays now. So before we weren't seeing patients on Tuesdays. So I'm going to come in as a spirit moves, and I love you guys. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're remembering to take care of yourself in these COVID times. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distancing, stay 6 feet apart. And I absolutely love y'all. Happy anniversary to my husband, Jay Johnson. 8 years. We've been married 8 years now, guys. And anyway, talk to y'all later. Wakanda forever.